Salut à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Je sais que ça fait longtemps que j'ai pas fait de vidéo. 4 mois. Mais bon, là je suis de retour. Donc j'ai trouvé un jeu qui s'appelle The Staley Parable. Et bah, go commencer.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ok, là c'est moi qui joue, c'est bon. Et d'après ce que je vois, il n'y a personne. Tous ses collègues avaient disparu, mais pourquoi? Stanley décida de se rendre en salle de réunion. Il avait peut-être simplement raté le numéro. Mais Stanley avait beau écarquiller les yeux, il ne trouvait pas de traces de ses collègues. On ne peut pas sauter. Ouais, on peut pas sauter. Oh. On peut s'accroupir. Ok. Je fasse. Ouais, faut que j'aille à la porte. Je peux fermer les portes derrière moi. Stanley parvint à hauteur de 2 portes ouvertes et décida de s'engouffrer dans celle de gauche. Mais c'est moi qui contrôle, bon. Je suis pas obligé d'y aller, si.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
J'ai trouvé une réponse.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss.
C'est par où? Par en bas? Je pense que c'est par en haut, du coup. Donc, je pense pas que le bureau du chef il est dans un parking. Hein. Ouais, c'est ici. Attends, je vais te regarder avant. Alors, je sais pas trop lire l'anglais, quoi. Attends, quoi? Il y a un magazine sur les toilettes. Extreme bathroom. Mais c'est quoi ça? Ok, je vois pas mon reflet. Bon. Donc c'est ici. En entrant dans le bureau de son chef, Stanley fut stupéfait l'absence totale de prononciation.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being
Yeah,
held from him? 8, 4, 5.
2, 8,
But of course, Stanley couldn't
4,
possibly
5.
have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by
Pourquoi ils ont
sheer
éteint?
luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened panel.
Parce que là, je suis choquée. C'est quoi ça? Pourquoi il y a une salle secrète dans le bureau du chef? C'est trop bizarre. Ok, un ascenseur. Je peux danser. Ouais,
Unanswered for long. Stanley walked
Chiant,
straight
lui.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility. Escape. Je choisis quoi? Escape? Ouais, il me fait un peu peur le truc escape, hein.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Rempli d'écrans
What
de télévision.
horrible
Quel
secret did this
télescope
place
pouvait faire
hold?
Monsieur
Stanley thought to
se demanda
himself.
Stanley.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Et les barrières s'ouvrent et un pont qui sort du sol. Caméra.
Now the monitors
What?
jumped to life, their true
What?
nature revealed. Each
C'est
bore the
quoi ça?
number
C'est
of
toutes
an
les caméras?
employee in the building.
Mais pourquoi il y a des
Stanley's
caméras?
co-workers. The lives of
Et
so
là-bas, il y a
many
encore une pub.
individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
Wesh, mais c'est qui
Stanley,
m'espionne
one of
toute
them,
la journée?
eternally monitored in this place where
C'est une
freedom
dinguerie, ça.
meant nothing.
Je vais dire, il y a des gens qui m'espionnent. 427, c'est moi. Le 427. C'est un truc de fou, ça.
This mind
Sortir.
control facility, it was too horrible
Ce
to
centre de
believe it
contrôle
couldn't
mental,
be
c'était
true.
trop.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
What?
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh bah, c'est quoi ça? C'est un truc de fou.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. But here was the proof.
La
The
preuve
heart
était
of the
forte
operation.
sous ses yeux.
Controls labeled with emotions.
Des commandes
Happy
marquées d'une
or
état
sad
heureux
or
ou
content.
satisfait.
Walking, eating, working.
Marcher,
All of it
manger,
monitored
travailler,
and commanded
utilisation,
from this
surveillée et
very
commandée
place.
depuis
And as the
cet
cold
endroit.
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again
Oh,
exert
porte
its
ouverte.
terrible power over
Mille
another
contrôle,
human life.
idle
For
et
he
waging input.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Détruire les commandes. System power. Je fais quoi? On, off. On, off. Off. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Il fait tout noir. Je vois
Blackness
rien.
and a rising
Répète.
chill of
Le son de
uncertainty.
flux de plus en plus
Was it
intense.
over?
Était-ce terminé?
Yes.
Waouh, ma manette elle
He had
vibre.
won. He
Oui,
had
il avait
defeated the
gagné.
machine.
Il avait vaincu la machine. Il
Unshackled
s'était libéré
himself
du
from someone else's
joug de cet autre.
command. Freedom was mere
Une
moments
liberté était
away.
à portée de main.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly
Qu'est-ce que
opened,
c'est que ça?
Stanley reflected on how
Chemin.
many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight
C'est dur.
streamed into the chamber, he realized
Alors
none
que
of
les
this
rayons du
mattered to
soleil
him, for it was not
Lundi,
knowledge or
le
even
but
power
de sa
that
quête
he had been
n'était ni le
seeking,
savoir ni la
but
puissance.
happiness.
Mais
Perhaps his goal
seulement,
had not been to
j'ai pas
understand,
L'audition
but to
qui
let
n'était
go.
plus,
No
n'était
longer
peut-être
would
pas de
anyone
comprendre.
tell him where
Oui.
to go, what to
Personne
do,
ne lui dirait jamais
or
d'où
how to
aller,
feel.
où aller,
Whatever
qui faire,
life he lives,
que
it will
quoi?
be his.
Quelle que serait sa vie à
That was
présent,
all he needed to know.
c'était tout ce
It
qu'il
was perhaps
avait besoin de savoir
the
et
only
c'était
thing
peut-être
worth
la seule
knowing.
chose qui méritait
Stanley
d'être
stepped
su.
through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Stanley sentit la fraîcheur de la brise contre sa
The
peau,
immense
la sensation
possibility
de
of a
liberté,
new path
tous
before
les
him.
possibles qui s'offraient à lui.
This was exactly the way,
C'était exactement ainsi
right
que les
now,
choses devaient se
that
passer.
things were meant to happen. And Stanley
Et Stanley
was
était
happy.
heureux. C'est la fin? C'est pas la fin quand même. Oh! Les histoires, elles se
Stanley
répètent.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mais pourquoi il y a un C ici? Je comprends pas. Moi j'ai éteint tous les PC. Bon,
When Stanley came to a
du
set
coup,
of two
ils me disent
open
d'aller
doors,
là-bas. Mais
he
si je vais
entered the
là-bas,
door on
il
his
y a quoi?
left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
Ce
and
n'est pas la
Stanley
bonne
knew
façon
it
de se
perfectly
rendre à la salle de
well.
réunion et
Perhaps
Stanley
he
en
wanted
était
to stop by the
parfaitement.
employee lounge first, just
Peut-être
to
voulait-il
admire
d'abord
it.
passer par la salle de pause pour l'admirer.
Ah, yes,
Voilà
truly
une
a
pièce
room worth
véritablement
admiring.
admirable.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautiful, but eager to get back to business.
Mais comme il avait
Stanley
hâte de
took the
reprendre,
first open
Stanley
door on
franchit
his
la
left.
porte ouverte sur sa gauche. Ouais, mais si j'ai pas envie. Je n'ai pas envie.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Non. Ouais, non, je vais pas y aller ça. Don't jump from the cargo lane. Ok, ils me disent.
Neglecting Stanley.
C'est chouette ici.
Really? I was in the middle of
J'étais
something. Do you
occupé.
have zero consideration
J'avais
for
aucune
others?
pensée pour
Are
les
you
autres.
that convinced that I want
J'avais
something
vraiment que
bad to happen
je
to you?
pouvais.
What? Let me prove it.
Attendez,
Let me
laissez-moi
prove that I'm
prouver.
on your side. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley franchit la porte rouge. Si je choisis la bleue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Ouais, je
Stanley walked
Ça
through
dit.
the red door.
La porte bleue.
I still
Je
don't
préfère le
think we're
bleu Cléo.
communicating properly. Stanley
Sérieux?
walked through the red door.
Mais je suis obligée là.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have
Trouvez-vous
wanted
que
you
je
to be happy
souhaite
all this
votre bonheur
time?
depuis tout ce
The
temps?
problem is all these
Le
choices.
problème,
The
ce
two
sont
of
tous
us
ces
all
choix.
trying to
Nous
get
sommes tous
somewhere
les
that
deux
isn't
venus
here.
rendre à un
Running
endroit
and
qui n'est pas
running
là.
and running, just the way you're doing
Courant,
right
courant,
now.
courant,
Don't you
exactement
see
comme
that
vous
it's
faites.
killing us,
Ne
Stanley?
voyez-vous pas cela?
I just...
What? C'est tout noir.
What do we want? What are we...
Oh, cherchons.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here,
Ouais.
right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going?
What?
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset.
Aujourd'hui, le jeu
We'll
va
lose all
redémarrer.
of
Nous
this.
perdrons tout ceci.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Wow.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a
Vous m'avez fait
moment.
peur.
Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Flemme d'attendre 3 heures.
Stanley,
Le compteur redémarre
let's
le
go
jeu.
back to the other room. Can you do that? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Le jeu.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
C'est parti.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bon. Je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là. Je ferai une partie 2 si vous savez. Enfin, s'il y a
No
encore des
matter how
fins,
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
et
find
si
a
ça vous a
trace
plu,
of his co-workers.
je pense qu'il y a encore d'autres trucs, hein, parce que il y avait d'autres choix encore à faire. Bah, il y a encore des trucs. Vous me dites si ça vous a plu, j'en ferai une autre partie pour voir les autres fins. Je dis à la prochaine. Et sinon, bah à plus. Et d'ailleurs, je me rends compte, mais c'est ma première vidéo de l'année. Ouais. Ça, il m'intrigue de fou, là.
Ah, the embrace of
On
an
peut le
old
prendre.
friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.